Storm Track weather with meteorologist Blaze Keller.
Well, as we count down the final days left in December, we're finally getting our latest winter weather advisory for nearly all of the state. This little clipper system coming out of International Falls, you can see it spinning there. Going to bring us not only that chance for some light snow, but at least here for the next several hours, the chance for some freezing drizzle as well. That's the reason why all really of Wisconsin is underneath this latest winter weather advisory. That goes until midnight going into Sunday, so 12 a.m. I would say the freezing drizzle, though, is not going to last that long, probably over the next few hours through about maybe 10 o'clock at night, starting in the La Crosse area and then slowly pushing its way south and eastward as we go through the rest of your evening. We're hovering right around freezing, which is the reason why we have that chance for freezing drizzle. We got southwesterly winds across southeastern parts of the state, and then cooler air starting to move on in. So we kind of just have a good setup for maybe some light freezing drizzle for the next several hours. That's going to transition over to snow as we go further into your Saturday night, early Sunday morning. We're going to hang out in the 20s tonight underneath mostly cloudy conditions. Winds are going to remain light, and as I mentioned, that snow is going to be moving on in. So let's track it out with Future Track. As it comes out of northwestern Wisconsin, we're going to kind of watch as a line develops, extending from Lake Michigan all the way back to Minneapolis. We're looking at about 5 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. Maybe a few flurries here across southern Wisconsin, but the bulk of that more maybe light to moderate snow activity will hold off, but eventually push its way southeastwards as we move into the late morning hours through the early afternoon. Folks farther north and east, you're going to have that better chance for upwards of maybe an inch to an inch and a half of snow. Farther to the south and west, it's not looking as likely, maybe a dusting to a quarter of an inch, and then somewhere in the middle we kind of have the best chance for a half an inch to an inch of snow. That wraps up, and then we go quietly into the rest of your Christmas Eve, and then we're looking at a quiet and a little bit cooler start to the new year. All right, it's hard to see, but where the pink is showing up, especially in and around La Crosse, into parts of Grant and Crawford County, that's where we could see maybe a few millimeters of ice, not looking too impressive out there. In terms of snow, as I mentioned, that's kind of the takeaway from this. That's going to be the bigger impact, I think, of the two. A quarter of an inch to maybe a half an inch farther south and west, half an inch to an inch across central parts of the viewing area. And then closer to Lake Michigan, you've got that inch to maybe inch and a half threshold. This is coming out of the northwest, so it is going to be more of that light, fluffy snow. But as winds turn off the lake, as this low pressure system moves on through, we might be able to add in a little bit of a lake effect, so maybe some bigger snowflakes farther to the east. As we're ringing in 2024, we're looking at 20s across southern Wisconsin, mid to upper 20s, looking at partly cloudy to mostly clear conditions, so a pretty quiet evening after some snow moves through earlier tomorrow. There is a look at your Sunday forecast. Upper 20s is where we should be, so pretty seasonal, not terribly warm out there, but in terms of this whole year, we've had quite a warm year. In fact, our monthly average temperature compared to normal for almost every single month, including December, has been above average except for March. The month with the greatest departure is currently ongoing, December. Our average temperature right now is almost 10 degrees above average. That's the reason why we just haven't seen any snow, why it hasn't felt like winter. But January right around the corner, and at least we're going to start off on the cooler side, maybe even lingering into those upper 20s on Thursday with a chance for some light snow by next Saturday as well.
I mean, it's been so chill here in terms of weather, right? And so Blaze comes into the newsroom and is like, oh, we have this winter weather advisory. We're like, what?
Out.
What's going on? Because we just haven't had much of that.
She was freaking out, and I said, don't worry.
Blaze has got us covered.
I do, and we'll track out that ice.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, Blaze. And it's much warmer in Florida right now. That's where Carly Murata is with the Badgers bowl game just 2 days away.